It's a full house for episode 298 of the Calcio guys. I'm Nicholas Gianni Adriano, joined by our good friend of the podcast for many years, Franco. Another guest, third straight week. We have someone new on from Montreal, right down the street. Franco, my guy.
Hey, how's it going? Honestly, super excited. When I got a text from Nick, like I mentioned earlier, it was like getting called to the big leagues from the minors. So it was, it was just I've been so excited since I got the text that just looking forward to it. I think we've spoke about soccer and sports in general before, but to do it on your podcast, it's a good feeling for sure.
That's amazing, Franco. You give us all this praise. It seems like we feel like I'm not a Habs fan, but what, with the Montreal Canadiens? I don't understand. The Laval Rocket, like what's going on here?
Listen, this is at our age. I think talking about sports, this is what turns me on almost. This is this is the most excitement I think I get in a week. So, but no, I think I mentioned this to Nick another time as well. Is that I respect what you guys do, because I know there's a lot that goes behind the scenes with having a podcast. And so, I think, doing it for how long? I thought you guys did it for only 5-6 years. Nick just told me you guys, it's been running on 8 years. So that's incredible. And just
thank you, sir,
doing your thing. And I'm glad you have a big following. It's well deserved.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And I'm just going to pull up this picture actually. So I said you knew us. You knew the Calcio guys before the Calcio guys. This is our famous picture from 2016.
Yeah.
You came to the Impact game, the Impact Roma game, and you're next to Jan. You're not in the picture. We didn't take the selfie with you, but you're there. So that's how long we've known.
We have another pic. So I don't know if you have the other pic, Nick, in your backyard there. The Italy game. I know there's that one too.
I made your Instagram profile as well. Yeah,
we have to go
find that one.
We have to go find that one and put it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that one. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up soon. But
as you can see from that picture, I had no idea you guys were taking a picture. But
Franco was like this. He was like a Stupinian. He was like a laser focused, right? He was like this.
Yeah. I don't know how much I could have been focused. It was an Impact game. So
that's true.
I got the picture
before they were called Club de Foot.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, it was like BCE.
Yeah.
But. There we go.
This is from September 2020.
Yeah.
They were playing the Nations League. I forget who they were playing. I think it was the Netherlands, and I forget if they won that game. I think so.
All I want to say is that again, clueless as ever, did not get the memo with the Italy jersey. So I think that seems to be my trend. Just show up and and
provide a couple laughs and
Exactly. You look like you know what's happening, but hasn't worked clearly.
Jan, you've been quiet so far. Do you want to ask Franco our famous question that we ask all of our first-time guests?
Well, essentially, like, how did you become? Well, wait, hold on, time out, Ashman. This is Franco's first time on the pod.
First time. We were saying it earlier. First time, bro.
You guys made me work for this one.
It's crazy. Now he makes us feel bad, but.
Yeah. It was a lot of soggy subs on the bus before getting here,
Okay, Franco, well, why don't you tell the fans, the team that you support, how you became a fan of that team, why you continue supporting them, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
Your cultural story, Franco.
I think you guys are going to slowly regret having me on, because I like to talk a lot.
It's the teacher in you, buddy. It's okay. I do the same. It's the teacher in us, man. That's how it works.
All right, so when I was around 8 years old, my neighbor that lives right behind me, he I live in the Italian community. You guys have heard of it before, Selinard, and every one on my street is pretty much Italian. And so my neighbor in the back, working at Alenta Maché, shout out to Vince, he gave me my first Milan poster of the roster. I want to say it was like maybe the 2004, 2005 roster. It was around those years. So there was players like Cafu, Dida, obviously Maldini, Nesta. And I came prepared, by the way. I don't know if you saw it. Look, I got my little,
Milan, look at that
thing here. Yeah. But my ADHD just kicked in. But anyway, just to top it off, so he gave my first poster. And growing up in an Italian community like St. Leonard, everyone in my class or in my school followed the team. So obviously, the top three teams were the most common. So AC, Inter, and Juve. And there was a particular hatred. I wouldn't say hatred, but hostility toward between the Milan and Juventus fans in particular. So every time the Juve fan would mention something, I always wanted to kind of outsmart them. So I would kind of do my homework and do my research on Milan. And I think that's where it all started. But I've always played. I played since I was 4 years old. So that too sparked it, and then obviously the 2006 World Cup, that too, allowed me to watch the games. And I wanted to mention this because from I want to say 2008 to 2012, was watching games almost every Sunday. I think that team, those years really, were kind of my prime time in terms of watching Milan soccer. And I don't know if you guys remember this, Adriano. I don't know if remember this. Do you remember Alexander Pato's first game?
Of course, yeah.
Okay,
you can't forget.
So that game, I remember like it was yesterday, and I remember at that point I was watching it so religiously that I got both my parents involved, and my mom, I think, became a bigger fan than I was. So that game, I remember being like, because they had an older team, right? They had an older team, and so he was kind of like hopeful youth that just came in and hopefully would spark a new beginning. So that was some of the memories I do remember watching the game, and ever since then I've always followed them. But I have to say, after they got rid of Thiago Silva and Ibrahimovic, the first time I kind of I was a little bit angry at the management. So that I started to follow it less, and but I've always kept tabs on the team since then. Yeah.
And Franco, like we had Lucas Scott on a couple of weeks ago from TSN 690, and obviously a Milan fan himself, and no matter when you get into the fandom, it's amazing to still see that love of the team still go on today, if it be in a big quantity or a small quantity. You went through the banter era, right, Franco, as we like to call it, right?
Yeah.
So and you're still sticking with the team, and I said that to him a couple of weeks ago, so I'll say it to you again. So it's a big chapeau to you, because there's a lot of fans of teams that they, when they're winning is when they start really getting behind the team, and when they're losing or when they go through a dark period, they kind of fizzle out. So these fans like yourself that even though, like you said, maybe not on the same level as it was in the 2008 to 2012 years, you still have some touch with the team. So obviously we commend fans that still stick true to the colors, no matter what. And another thing I wanted to ask you before we kind of shift gears, Franco, I like to kind of ask this, but inspirations of players, who did you kind of look towards, if it be on Milan, obviously the Italian national team, just who are your guys growing up for Calcio?
So I have to say, for me, it's an easy answer because it's got to be Gennaro Gattuso. Not always. I say growing up, I was more of a fullback, so right or left back playing. But then I evolved into a defensive midfield. So I would always look at Gattuso, the passion he had, the fearlessness, just going, defending the top players in the world. I think for me, that I really looked up to him, and even if wasn't the most exciting player to watch, to me, just watching him and seeing what he can do, like I said, defending the top quality players, it was something, because I played that position, so I looked to him, and I actually met him. I don't know if I ever told you the story.
Oh shoot. Possibly, maybe, I don't remember now. Refresh our memory, Franco.
So I worked at a soccer store called Passion Soccer.
Of course,
it still exists. And so I was lucky enough. Shout out to my manager Gianni at the time. He got invited to
not this Gianni,
this Gianni, another one.
Not this Gianni, yeah. But the Giannis are good people for sure.
Thank you.
So he invited me to an event in Laval. hosted by Jivova. I don't know if you guys know that company. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jivova, they were having a, I believe, like a recruitment process where they were kind of recruiting some players to bring to Italy from Montreal. And, they were just talking about the program. And obviously, they had some representatives, Gattuso being one of them, or the main one. And as soon as I found out that he was going to be there, I kind of begged on my knees. I said, you gotta get me to this event, So I got there, and so he arrives, and he was nice. He signed a bunch of autographs. I had my jersey there with his name in the back. Got him to sign it. And I always grew up like every event, that I went to. My mom always said, take as many pictures as you can. So obviously that one picture was not enough. I said, I need another one. I found an excuse to it's a little blurry. Took another. So the first picture, he was all smiles. Second picture, neutral, like total no smile, no. And then the last, I ended up taking a third picture. He looked like he wanted to kill me. Like he
and we all know he has it in him to do it, right?
yes, he does. And I was genuinely afraid when I saw that picture. I said, wow, thank God I did not go for a fourth. It was but no, it was a great experience. And he's got to be my answer for that question.
Frank, we might have to pull up that picture so we can share it here.
Okay. Very sad news. That picture is lost.
Yes.
No.
He hacked your computer or phone, and he made sure.
So what happened is,
up here, at least.
obviously over the years, this picture, I want to say at least 8 years ago, if not 9. And so I've maybe gone through maybe 3 or 4 phones, if not 5. And the other day I was looking at it. I was hoping that Google Photos would have kept the record, because I do have pictures from that age,
that era.
It's probably in the archive somewhere. But I remember looking for it once, and if I'll look for it again. If I could find it, I'll definitely send it to you guys. And I'll send you the angry one for sure.
Franco, what's the saying? Sometimes a picture is worth a 1,000 words. This one is worth 10,000 words.
10,000, exactly.
Shout out to our French class in Cégep.
Yes.
Someone went up to the teacher. We had to present, I don't know, a picture or whatever, and that was his whole project.
So we knew he didn't study or practice anything beforehand. So, but he actually got a better mark than us because he spoke French, like he was a francophone. So, he didn't really need to look over his notes, and he knew that. So, that's where confidence gets you sometimes, right?
Exactly.
Fake it till you make it, so to speak.
That's it.
Franco, the picture I want to share here is your picture at the San Siro, and this really perfect transition now, because this is the reason we wanted to have you on. You made it to the San Siro. You're the one out of the group that's most recently been at the stadium, and you got to see the Derby, the Milan Inter Derby on March 8th, match day 28. I know you were mentioning it before you went with your friend who's an Inter fan, so it was a perfect time. Just tell us, how that came about, because look, we know you're a teacher, Franco. Mm-hmm. That was probably March break, probably perfect timing, right? Yeah. And just how did you end up in Milan at that game, and even just getting the tickets? What's that process like?
All right, so it was an easy process. Like as I've already mentioned, I've been a Milan fan for a while, for a long time. It's always been a childhood dream of mine to go to the San Siro. Even though I don't watch it as much as I do, I've always had that dream in mind. And my friend that came with me, his name's Alessandro, and him as well. So him on the other side of the spectrum, being an Inter fan, he had the same dream as mine. And, it was one of those things that we just brought up, in casual get-togethers, saying, one day we should do it. And then recently, we found out when they were playing, and he said, you know what? I'm like you said, the stars aligned, because it was during spring break. And I said, why don't we just do it? And he's like, yeah, but he's like, don't joke with me now. I was like, if you say you're going to do it, we got to do it now.
Absolutely.
It's now or never, So we're getting at an age where our friends are getting married, and so it's gonna get more and more difficult. So it says, you know what, let's just do it. And the process is not easy, as you know. Tickets don't last on the official website very long. So you have to kind of either get them on the official website or a reseller. And unfortunately, we were late. So we had no choice to get a reseller, which you're paying like
top dollar, if not more.
top dollar for it. And, that kind of discouraged us a little bit. But then we said, you know what, it's now or never. So we did it anyway. And so it's funny because I have a student of mine who's is a big Napoli fan. And shout out to my class because they're probably gonna end up watching this later. So he's a big Napoli fan, and I kind of bugged them last year for going to Naples for 5 days to watch a Napoli game, and then I ended up doing the same thing with Milan. So anyway, we get to Milan, and obviously the game, the stadium, you can see it from miles and miles away. It's massive, it's huge. I think that's what kind of stood out to me, just the sheer size of it.
Yeah.
And you guys seen pictures of the San Siro, right? Those four, I think those four famous pillars that it has. I never really knew that. Adriano, because and Nick, that you guys went.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? Did you guys walk in those pillars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys get dizzy walking in those pillars?
It's crazy.
I had to
Rondo,
gira, it was
gira,
giro tondo for 10 minutes.
That's it.
Okay, and I realized, I'm like, what? Like, there's no better mechanism to get up there, but I think it was all part of the full experience. And one thing, because I was trying to describe outside of the stadium, and the best thing I can describe it, it's almost like a tailgate, but you won't see people playing beer pong. You won't see people just getting totally slaughtered. Everyone's just enjoying their porchetta sandwich, and just having a beer, and it's just it's very calm but chaotic at the same time, if that makes sense. And I met I think 5 different people, and they all came from different parts of the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so
awesome.
I had the guy next to me drove 20 hours from northern Germany.
Wow.
In a Winnebago to watch the game. So I loved hearing those type of stories. I think sports in general, but that Milan game brought so many people together. It's incredible. So yeah, the stadium was rocking. My seats were on top of the Inter Ultra fans.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they were loud. They were very, very loud. I commend them because they were in some cases louder than the Milan fans, which were the home team that game.
Yeah.
And so it was that's what I think stood out the most, was the whole atmosphere. The game itself, very defensive, like we talked about earlier. They after the first half, they really held back to that 1-0 lead. So kind of typical SerieA soccer in some cases, but no, the atmosphere was incredible. And I'm so happy I went. And I actually went and go see an Atalanta game the day before. And that was obviously smaller scale, but it was a great experience as well. The fans were into it. Udinese ultras, believe it or not, are really passionate fans. A lot of them were pointing middle fingers and getting like if you look at them wrong, it's like no, you're an enemy, So both games were fantastic, but the Milan, they were so loud, the Inter Ultras, that you can't even understand what they're saying. That's how loud they were. You can't understand a word they were saying. I was really trying to make out, but had no idea. Then finding out of who was there, like Sergio Ramos, Ibrahimovic, Pato, a lot of players with the interviews came out later. It was just a special moment, and I had no regrets. It took it was a lot to get there, but definitely happy I went.
Well, I was gonna ask Atalanta. So it's a new stadium there.
Yeah.
So how did you find that stadium, especially compared to this? It's not a new stadium, but recently renovated. So how did you find the experience at?
Was it
Was it?
The Jawa Stadium?
I forget the sponsorship name of the stadium. But
Yeah, Gewis,
Gewis Stadium, yes.
Gewis, whatever it is.
My God. No, but the what are the sneakers called?
New Balance.
New Balance.
They changed it.
New
That's
Balance.
it. That's it.
Yeah,
Oh,
New
they
Balance.
changed it? New Balance
Yeah.
unit now?
Yeah. So
There's
yeah,
New
what's
Balance everywhere. So
Exactly.
that sponsorship is written everywhere.
Okay.
So Milan, it's my first love. I love Milan with all my heart. The city, is fantastic. But in 2 days you can pretty much do Milan. So that's what we did. So on Thursday, Friday, we completely did Milan, and there wasn't many places left to see. So we said, what are we gonna do? Like we got back in our room at midnight, and we said, what are we gonna do? So my friend thought of the idea to go watch another soccer game, and I told him, you're crazy. Like there's no way. We already spent so much money. He's like, no. It's like it's probably cheap, and let's look into it. And we looked at everything. Believe it or not, Nick, I looked at even Juventus game and realized that Torino is about 2 hours and a half. So I said, you know what, let's maybe something closer. And that's it. I looked up the Atalanta to find out they were in Bergamo. By the way, beautiful place, I have to say.
I've heard it's very nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's on a hill. It's the views are spectacular. Not, mind you, I'm talking about this place like I've been for like 3 days. I was there for 4 hours. Okay?
Imagine.
Literally, I got on the train, got there, had to rush to the stadium. I had to get our tickets verified.
Yeah.
Had enough time to eat a panino and a beer outside the stadium, and then went straight there. For 53 euro, sat right next to the Udinese. I was second row, so there was only one row in front of me, which was incredible.
You can't complain.
No, you can't. And and again, it's a smaller stadium, like you said, newer stadium, and you see that right away. Like San Siro looks like ancient compared to this stadium, but obviously much smaller scale. But it was nice. It was very communal. Like I found everyone knew each other. You don't have that vibe. Like everyone kind of all the fans knew each other.
Yeah.
So
we had that same kind of experience. I don't know if Nick would agree, but at Luigi Ferraris in Genova, that we went to Sampdoria Parma, and the game was what it was, but
in Parma?
In Genova. So
in Genova, okay.
It was that. At least we felt. I can speak for myself. I think Nick would probably agree, but that tighter knit, smaller scale, because we had gone to, from the Olimpico to the Luigi Ferraris, and then to San Siro, 70,000 plus. So we kind of got a taste of each. I don't want to say each category of stadium in Serie A, but we kind of got like an appetizer of different scale of fandom. And
how was the Olimpico?
Well, for me, the Olimpico is pretty. It's sick. Like I mean,
even bigger than San Siro.
No, I think it's less. I think in terms of capacity size, if I'm not mistaken.
You're so far from the field though. There's the track, so you really feel it. We were sitting close.
Okay.
But you're close but far at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Franco. So, but again, I've been again. What was it? Last year. Excuse me. Back in October, I went with my brother. We went to go see a national team game. So Italy played Belgium. For the Nations League, so that was spur of the moment too, and it was pretty cool. We sat a bit higher up, and you kind of saw a bit better.
And there you must get Italians from everywhere. Like you must get
it was
top
cool.
of the boot to the bottom, and even from other countries as well.
For sure. Yeah, so that was a cool experience. But I find the Olimpico great. But again, like just to tie into your point of Atalanta, that not small scale, but like smaller environment, close knit tightness. I would probably compare it to when we went to the Ferraris for Sampdoria Parma back in 2019, because from the vendors outside to the fans inside to that like season ticket holder fan that had like a Giornale in his back pocket, and he was doing back and forth. I don't know if Nick remembers, but
please
he
hold.
was going back and forth.
You just reminded me of something. Look,
Wait. Now we're getting oral presentations over here by the teacher.
I have exactly what you're talking about. So I have
There
the
you go.
finale of Atalanta right here.
There you
It's
go.
folded and it looks like it went through World War II, but it's there.
Awesome.
And so, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. And you can't emulate that. Like the passion,
No.
you'll never get that here. Like you'll never get that passion from the fans that you'll get in a soccer. And I think in those events, you really see that soccer is the most popular sport in the world. Like it's not even comparable. Like it's more than just a game over there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's very special about watching a game in Italy.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like I think you said it best. Everyone knows each other. It's a community. It's something that it's circled on the calendar. People gather, whether it's at the cafe, whether it's at the bars near the stadio, whether it's inside the stadio if they have season tickets. Like there was that funny video back at the Madonnina a few years ago where somebody brought a tray of lasagna and they're just they're just passing out plates of lasagna to people, right?
It's like you will never experience that here. Like never.
Did you guys see a video recently? But I don't know what game it came from. Definitely a SerieA game, but a guy was making like I want to say a foot long panini in the front row. Full of different cold cuts, and he was like in the middle of a game, like he was just full on. Oh no,
but they do that.
I think it was.
I think that was in Spain.
Yes, La Liga. It was in La Liga.
La Liga?
Yeah.
No, but that happened.
But still.
Happened. But that happened to me at the Maradona, not a panino, but like essentially, like I was at the Maradona to watch the Napoli game a couple of years ago, and I went to Italy. And the guy sitting next to me, like at halftime, he opens up a lunchbox. He's got a bunch of biscotti, and he's like, "No," and I'm like, "No, grazie, sto bene, grazie." And, they're just there, like, "Fuck," honestly, I would take it if I had an espresso with me and stuff. But no, it's.
No, sorry, it's amazing. Sorry, it's amazing, and Johnny, just to like, how was that feeling? Like feeling in that building in that Napoli stadium, like that must have been incredible.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like even that at the Olimpico. At the Olimpico, every second line is "Mortacci tua." Li Mortacci. It's just
the chants are incredible. You don't even if you don't know what's going on, you feel so pressured to be part of those chants. Like you want to just be part of that moment.
The tifos are great.
Napoli, okay, I'm currently watching Gomorrah. Okay, which is you guys heard of Gomorrah?
Yeah, of course.
I could just imagine, just based on that, because you see the passion from the show. Okay, these are actors. I can just imagine the passion from that stadium and the fans. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to be caught dead in the middle of the night in Naples. The people there are nuts. Like, let's just be honest. They're full on crazy. And I respect them completely because it's all passion. It's all passion. And so that's another thing. I would love to watch a game there as well.
Me too. I would definitely like to go.
A lot of the people in the Curva, a lot of the capos there are actually members of the Gomorrah. So it's like you don't want to get caught on the wrong side of pissing them off or whatever.
Love it.
But it's funny because like getting involved in the chats and stuff. There was one point, we're chanting about the Vesuvia ruta, tutta Napoli distrutta, and I'm like. And I turned to the guy to my left, man, like, like, isn't this like a bit racist versus us or whatever? He's like, oh no, it's only good if we're singing it. We can sing it because if we sing it, I'm like, is this like our N-word? Like, what's going on? I'm making a stupid joke, but
we can say walk, you can't.
I'm just there like, okay, let's sing the song. That's like ever since then, like the whole like Vesuvia ruta. Tutta Napoli distrutta Vesuvio. It doesn't bother me. It's part of It's just part. It's like they embrace it. It's like obviously you take the biggest chat against you, and just spin into something positive. So, honestly, like it's I have to agree with you. It's just getting involved. If any listener has the opportunity to go to watch a SerieA game in Italy, no matter where it is, I even want to go watch a Fiorentina game at the Artemio Franchi. It's like. It's just even I didn't care about either team, but it was just nice to watch, and it was a great environment to be in. And like just hearing the tifosi chanting and stuff, like the ultras, like they have some really good chants, and it's like unique chants too. It's just the environments and vibes, like they can't be
full on nuts.
Yeah. Like if I was living depending on whichever city it was, I would get season tickets for even if it was I don't know fucking Pisa. But you know, like I would go watch a game, especially as Pisa.
Yeah, I'm not going for a tower. I'm going for the game.
Yeah, like especially at Pisa, is a student town, so it's very cheap to live there. But like,
Jenny, even my brother who doesn't watch sports for shit, even him went to a Bologna Juve after studying 3 months in Bologna. It's like, if you're in Italy, you got to go to a soccer game. And look, between all of us, we've all gone to see games of our favorite teams, but we've all gone to see games of not our favorite teams.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the beauty of it. Look, we live, I don't know how many kilometers away we are from Italy. God knows how many. But we were there. We had to go, you know, for me and Adriano's, we had to, you know, we wanted to go just get that different experience at Luigi Ferraris. Franco, you went to Atalanta. Gianni, you went to Fiorentina. So I think that's cool. And, you know, even Franco, you're talking about eating these porchetta sandwiches before the game. And it brings back memories from when we were there. Adrian, I'm pretty sure we had a sandwich outside the San Siro as well. If it was in the San Siro, I remember having one outside the Olimpico. Yeah. And it's nice how these little trucks are set up. And like you said, Franco, it's not like in the, you know, you go to the States for an NFL game, there's tailgating, people are doing it on their own. These are businesses that are set up and it's cheap too. You get a sandwich, €5. You know, you get a beer, €5, whatever it is. I don't know how much it is now. Yeah. But it's a fun experience, and it's so different than going to a sports game here, right? You go to a soccer game in Italy, you're expected to chant, you're expected to be crazy. You know, Franco, we were talking beforehand. So I was at the Habs game yesterday in the Desjardins section. At times, it felt like I was the only one cheering. I was lucky because there was these two guys behind me, younger than me, one Habs fan, one Bruins fan, and they're friends. So they're kind of going at it all game. So they, you know,
that's how it feels to be a Leafs fan right now. Yeah, they call it the yacht club for a reason. So
yeah, there you go.
It's very corporate.
Yeah, very corporate. No, you're right. Yeah, you're 100% right. So two things that I remembered. One, I also went to see. So even obviously Milan's by far my favorite team, but I in 2017 I went to go see Barcelona Real Madrid Super Cup, and that's to see how passionate they are there. Like, I think that's like almost as close as the San Siro, because Barcelona is you know, it's one of the most, I feel like, international followings, you know, in terms of people all over the world, and yeah, like you know, it's just to see, like, I gave this example the other day, like when we have a Canadians game, like, you know, you go park at the Bell Center, you know you're gonna be in traffic for at least an hour or two after the game is over. You go at Barcelona, there was over 90,000 people. I was there an hour after the game, and there was no one. It was a ghost town. Like, the traffic flowed, there was efficiency, there was management, like everything. Mind you, half the people took their Vespas and their scooters, but of course, still, you know, it's like, wow. It's like, because there's structure. I find even at the San Siro game, there was structure. There was 15 entrances, like, you know what I mean? So it was very efficient, and you couldn't, like, I remember my entrance, like, there was a lineup, and the other entrance there wasn't. I'm like, well, can I just go to the entrance? No, your ticket says number 5. You got to go to number 5. You know, so there's a lot of efficiency there, and you know, I think there's a lot of history that goes into that stadium. Like, you know, I don't know. Do you guys know when San Siro was built? I probably should have looked this up.
I'm actually just pulling that up now. It's old, 1926.
Wow.
Yeah, 1926. Obviously, it's been expanded and renovated since. The
100 years.
The biggest expansion was for Italia in 1990. So it's been,
but
in its current form, it's been 35 years. Sorry?
The foundation's been 100 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be kind of sad to see it go, but it's time. I think it's ultimately time.
Well, I have to go to a derby before it goes down, so I have to pull a Franco and go. I don't know before it collapses there, but
well, I think it's November, right? Right now they're scheduled. I think
I don't
November.
know. November of what year?
So they might play before. Sorry?
November of what year, Franco? We've been here in November for how many years now?
Italians, yeah. If they do it like the
tomorrow,
like
it's gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes.
Ice rink, yeah, it's gonna be done the day before.
Exactly. Franco, when we went in 2019, we were saying, "Oh, we got to go before this thing closes." It's gonna be 7 years.
Yeah.
And still there. Like,
but that's Italians.
Did you?
know what I
But
mean?
did you find the like conditions of the stadium? I don't know if you went to the washroom at all there. Did you find like the conditions of the stadium were bad?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Like you guys went 2019? You said
2019. Yeah.
Oh my God, no, it's got to be worse. Like I felt like I was one of the high schools I worked at. It was terrible, terrible. I'm not giving any names there. I don't want to,
No.
not the one I'm in right now. Just
No. It's C to Z.
but definitely terrible. Like paint off the wall, piss stains everywhere.
Wait, hold on.
The smell. You kind
the
of
high school you're talking about start with an R by any chance?
No.
Okay, then it's not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, off camera.
No, I have to say the schools I've been to, pretty good. But no, just to give an example, honestly, it was like we were all in the washroom looking at each other in a big line, and we're like, oh my God, do you smell that? Yeah, I smell that. Like it was really bad. And another thing, I don't know about you guys. Do any of you have any tickets to go see the World Cup or no?
I do not, but I have a friend who does.
Okay, I think I have a better chance of meeting the Pope than getting those tickets. I honestly, those tickets, and that's
my aunt and uncle met the Pope, actually, the old one, the one that passed. But
I met the Pope in my dreams the last week. Yeah. I had a dream that the Pope gave me a tour of the Vatican last week. Yeah, I'm never eating chocolate before bed again. Point being that they were very difficult to get tickets. My friend, I felt really bad for him. He tried all 4 rounds to get the tickets, and it just because apparently it's random. He couldn't get it, so he bid on every round, and so this was like also a reason why we went to the game, because like if we can't go to the World Cup, might as well go to the Derby
for sure.
And it's crazy. I met a guy from Switzerland, and he told me it was super easy for him to get tickets because he said that he just subscribed, paid €200, and is going to every Switzerland game that they have in North America.
Wow.
So I was like, what am I doing wrong? I live here and I can't even get a ticket.
It's because they're trying to milk the North Americans for their
which is fucking wrong. But
for being local and having higher incomes.
They think we're rich over here, Franco. I don't know.
No, but this is clearly this World Cup is clearly Affantino like trying to milk as much money as possible for FIFA. Like I
think it's just proof that the FIFA is so corrupt. Like it's beyond.
Yeah, that's old news.
Yeah, I know.
But
anyways, that's
Franco, let's track back a bit. We kind of wanted to. No, it's okay.
Different topics. I'm sorry.
These conversations, if it's the camera's on or if the camera's off, we know we're gonna have a conversation with you, Franco. That's a given. But just back to the game before we kind of move on to a bit more current Milan or current Serie, whatever. But the game itself, like what you saw on the pitch. Obviously, as a fan, both of us are fans of Milan, and the derby is always a special game on the calendar, no matter what it is, what the standings are, who's where, what players. It's a derby. It's a special game. Obviously, the kind of the buzz around the game was, obviously if Inter wins, Scudetto we can call that, kiss that goodbye. Inter gonna run away with it. Personally, I felt even before that game, it was pretty much out of reach. But
I still think it is,
we'll talk about that later. But they had a chance, obviously, to close the gap to 7 points. If not, it was going to be a 13-point gap. What you saw physically on the pitch in terms of the gameplay, the Estupiñán goal. I know you mentioned Modric a bit earlier off air. Just your thoughts on the game itself and what you got to witness live instead of being on your couch in front of a screen.
So the gameplay was like I said, very defensive. I think what stood out to me was the play of the midfield, in particular the defensive midfield. I think Modric and Barella were both the keystones of both their teams. I think that every play, either defensive or offensive play, went through Modric, and for Inter was Barella. I think that's what stood out for me. I think the Estupiñán goal was, if you really break it down, it was a really good not set play, but I would say very
setup,
tactical goal. It happened very quick. So it happened very fast, and it kind of started from nothing. So I think that's what stood out to me. I was like, wow, okay, I didn't even realize that play could have even happened. So that was fantastic. I think that both teams were very they had a game plan. Like you could tell there was a lot of structure on both ends. I think Mignon, that's how you say his name, right? The goalie,
Magnon, yeah.
Emmanuel, sorry. So he didn't let in any rebounds. So even though he didn't have many chances against, I have to say he didn't. The ball wasn't loose for very long. Like he was pretty much absorbing all those balls, whether it was a corner kick. So he impressed me. Modric impressed me. Who didn't impress me was Leao. I think he lost a lot of balls. Like his first touch wasn't great.
Okay.
And I think that's what I've been following his career for a while now, and I think that's something that I was kind of waiting for him to do something special. I know that he's not the most consistent player, but I know for him it doesn't take much. With all the talent and skill he has, I know it doesn't take much for him to get one behind the net. So one in the net. So and that didn't happen. So yes, he did get subbed off. But I think before that he didn't even have a really good chance. What else? I think yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said earlier, Modric, he really impressed me. There's a play, I don't know if you guys saw a clip from that game where he had 4 guys on him and head down and still got a pass through, and it led to a good chance. So I think he really impressed me. I think our young defenders too impressed me, I have to say. The Winter, I liked the way he played. So I liked him. And yeah, overall, I think obviously Stupinian the goal, but he was playing well before that as well. But to beat Inter, we needed to be on our game. Like you can tell, like we needed to be, solid. And Summer played good. Like give credit to him. Like he had a good game. Just that goal, he had no chance. Like he was in the box, and so yeah, I think like we said earlier, Allegri played it to a T. He wanted to play defensive. It doesn't always work. We've seen it before where that style of play, you can't sit back for too long, but it worked. It worked. I think other than Barella, there wasn't many Inter players that were really taking too many chances.
Yeah, they were off. You saw it.
Yeah, they weren't taking too many chances. I think their kind of first thing was to keep possession. It almost felt like we were playing Barcelona, because they were just keeping possession over possession. But yeah, overall, not the most exciting game. But the goal, I have to say, was a very strategic goal in the sense that the ball was moved quickly, which didn't happen too often in the game. And that's it. Overall, very structured defensive game.
So I noticed that like a lot of people are really changing their tune on Leao. And I'm somebody who,
I have something to say after. I'll let Franco go first, but I have something to say after.
Yeah, like I as an outsider looking in, I've always had like high regards for Leao. I always constantly try to take him in my Fanta Calcio. Like I know that this man can, on a turn of a dime, just become one of the most like world-class world beater players if he wants to be. And I know that one of his issues have been, motivations, or like when is he able to do that for Milan or not. Do you feel that Milan's lack of a striker throughout this, because he always plays left wing, right? I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But he always, the fact that Milan has a lack of a striker and he's got to make up for that is probably one of the issues for him this season. Could it be maybe because under Allegri it just doesn't suit his style? Like this season's obviously not his best season. It's a bit off. Let's be like, I don't think it's horrendous, but it is obviously out of character. Yeah. Is it? I know you said that he seems like he's starting to be off a bit. Do you think it's just Leao being Leao? Could it be from Allegri? Could it be a lack of a striker? What are your theories about his performances this season so far for Milan? Because there's 9 games left. Obviously, we're reaching the end, but you know, at the checkpoint, right? Like,
so maybe
I'll let you go.
I'll let
you go
Adriano
first, Franco.
start. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, go first because
Um,
I don't know.
You.
I might start breaking
Yeah.
things here. I don't know, but no, joking.
Okay.
Go ahead, Franco.
Well, I'll keep it short because, like for me, to me, I think just his touches were off. I think that obviously he has all the talent in the world. He's played with Ronaldo, you know, with Portugal.
Yeah.
You know, he knows how to play with skilled players. He knows how to get into good spots. I think we can all agree that the most difficult thing to be as an athlete is consistent. Yeah. And I think that's where, but now I think the rope is getting, or the leash is getting a little tighter because he is 26 years old.
Something, yeah.
So you know his prime is far. It's now. It should be now, exactly. So I think that's where we're at right now as Milan fans, is that we're waiting for something to happen. We've been waiting for something to happen, and because we know he has all the potential in the world, and and I think it could still happen. But obviously his leash is getting shorter and shorter because now he's been with Milan at least 3 or 4 years.
It's not, if not more. It's close to 6, 5, 6, something like that, 7 maybe. I'm not even sure now.
And I think you said it best. Like he's at his prime right now. Like now this should be his prime. So I think I was waiting for something that never came. So that's kind of my whole summary of his play. But obviously, I watched one game in person, and to be honest, I haven't watched too many games on the television. So, but from what I see, he hasn't reached his full potential. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah. No, listen. I think you give some good points, Franco. Obviously, he's been in the news lately. If anybody has followed Milan or saw the Lazio Milan game, obviously there was some obviously big disappointment, right? After the game that you did go to, Franco, and watch live, the derby. We had a bit of. I mean, for me personally, I as a fan, you kind of always want to have that hope and that potential of overcoming something. Let's say with the 7 point, with the gap closing to 7 points, with Inter slip up against Atalanta with the draw.
Yeah, you want to step up. Yeah.
You want everybody to step up in that game against Lazio, and obviously we'll probably bleed into that, but that didn't happen. Obviously, with the result 1-0 to Lazio. Over the weekend, and the substitution, early substitution of Leao has kind of been making the rounds, and obviously his reaction to the substitution was being criticized heavily by pundits across the pond, on our side, people that do content in and around our space. So which again is merited for sure. For me, I'm a fan of Leao, so I like him as a player. I like him as a player, right? But is he perfect? No. What I saw in that little, I don't know what you want to call it, dust up with Allegri, and then they're saying obviously with Pulisic as well. For me, the biggest problem, to bounce off of what Franco was saying with Leao, is consistency. Like you said, that's number one. It's when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's completely shut off. The problem is that I have also with that is that he's playing in a 3-5-2 formation, and he's not a striker, nor is Pulisic. Now, we're expecting these players to produce at a level that we know they can produce in their position, not of choice, right? They're both wingers. I know Pulisic can probably
and he's
play.
been on the team for a long time. So
and he's been on the team a long time.
Yeah,
exactly, right? So Leao's not a striker. We always bitch and moan about Leao. He doesn't show emotion. He doesn't show grinta. He doesn't show character. He's walking. He's this. The time he does show a bit of emotion and a bit of, in Abuedan they say katsima, right? That fire, right?
Yeah.
He's getting bashed for it because it's coming at a time where he's getting subbed off. He doesn't want to get subbed off, and he's throwing a tantrum, like they say.
Now, my question, sorry, Adriano.
No, go for it.
A question. Is he the type of player, in your opinion, that if you do start him off, is he gonna start to see the sense of urgency? You think you'll have a response from him if you do start him off, or
if he starts on the
if he
bench,
starts off the like if he's not a starter,
if
and
he's
in the
not,
following, if you want a response from the following game, is he the type of guy like now things getting serious?
yeah.
But I do agree with you. I think that you got to put him in the right spots.
Yeah, listen. He's not. I think he could come off the bench and be an impact, but he's the number. He wears the number 10 for Milan. He's not wearing the number 10 for, with all due respect, Pisa. Right? He's wearing the number 10 for Milan. Top player, top dollar in terms of the finances for this player, and he needs to produce. And that's, I'm not taking that away from anybody that criticizes him, because I criticize him too. He should be producing more, but the guy is not in his preferred position. We need to see that fire when he's on the pitch for sure. But I think to play the other side of the coin, with Leao, it's, those are facts.
Yeah.
He's playing in the 3-5-2 position, which he clearly does not like. He's clearly not a striker. He goes for runs. Nobody passes him the ball. I know that was a big talking point, and he kind of had a dust up with Pulisic that bled into the locker room. Apparently today, these last couple of days, they've kind of resolved it. But it's one of these things where you wanna work magic with you're still trying to pull the rabbit out of the hat, but that rabbit's not coming out of the hat, right? It's one of these things. So
and I could be wrong, but I think in the Serie A, because it's so defensive, being a striker is probably the most, or one of the most difficult positions.
Yeah, for sure, because they're on you, right? Like we always like to bash on Vlahovic too, right? For Juve, obviously this season has been kind of a blur because Jonathan David, right? Like in the past it was Vlahovic, now it's Jonathan David, right? These seasons
back and forth.
Back and forth, right? So because in Italy they want you, you're up there, you're the striker, they want you to score. You need to put the ball in the back of the net for your fans to be behind you, for you to have that confidence, for you to be loved by everybody. So Leao is not producing that. In the same breath, I think he still has the most goal contributions on the team. So it's
else
one of
do you
these
have
things
at this point?
I forget how many, but you can pull it up. I don't know.
No, but I mean, who else do you have at this point? Like,
who else do you have? Yeah, exactly. Pulisic hasn't scored in 2026.
That's waiting to take that opportunity. Like, who do you have that's
exactly? Pulisic hasn't scored in 2026. Full Krug is coming off the bench. He produces some sort of thing, but it's cut and dry. In Nkunku, again, same thing. So listen, I don't think this formation suits this team with the players that they have to optimize their top qualities, because we know Pulisic, Leao, these guys are creative players that can take a man on, that can find the net when they're in their position. We saw it. Like it's no surprise. Like it's no secret either. Like we know if they're in their position, not they're going to score every game, but they're going to be more in the game and more productive. So listen, I see I warrant the criticism on Leao. I don't blame him for being pissed off either in the same breath. But again, you're a leader. You're supposed to be one of the top players on this team. You have to show that on the pitch as well. You can't just throw these tantrums off when you get subbed off. Again, I understand the frustration 100%, because like I said, you're not in your correct position. You're not, you're not getting service from the players that are supposed to deliver you that service. And you get subbed off in the 65th minute, not even in an important match, which again can close the gap to something smaller. I think it would have been 5-point gap. If with Inter, now it's up to 8, and we're at 9 games left, and it's that slight hope that we maybe had is slowly fizzling out. So again, on Leao, I understand, but at the same time, he has to understand that he wants to be the number 10. He wants to be the face of like we say in North American sports, the face of the franchise. You have to deliver on all fronts, and that's on and off the pitch as well.
So just to sum up, I'll make it very quick.
Sure.
2 things. One, we forget that on that goal of Estupiñán, he had a touch. So he had a touch, and an important touch,
for sure,
because it led to the goal. So that's one thing. So just to kind of put make it a little bit more positive. And the other thing, just to be a little funny, is which Ibrahimovic should we put on that number 10 role? Do we bring back the old one? Do we bring back Do we put Maximilian, his older son, or we even have Vinny? I think all of his sons, he just, he has a management role now. He's like, let me just put all the sons in the Milan academy. So my question is, which one do we use now?
It's you know what? I put my hands up. We have a guy like Camarda that we don't even optimize, so that's a whole other conversation for another day. I think, Franco.
No, you're the expert, so I'm glad I'm learning. I remember the other day I looked up Ibrahimovic because he's literally on the Milan fan page like every day
all the time.
He's interviewing a bunch of stars. And I said, did you know Vinny? I'm like, who's Vinny? Apparently he has a son named Vincent. And I found out they're all on Milan. Like we have all his sons. So I'm like, okay, there's a little corruption going on, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll take it.
Franco, so despite the win, they're still 8 points behind Inter. I mean, they kind of lost it this weekend, but
no, they lost. Yeah.
They lost against Lazio this weekend, but they had a chance to at least catch up just a bit. I mean, Scudetto pretty much out of the question, right? And, you're looking at top 4.
Well, they're closer to 5th place than they are to the Scudetto.
Yes,
is
exactly.
that right?
Yeah. Well,
they're 8 points behind first.
Napoli's
7
at our
points
heels
above
right
fifth.
now. Well, Napoli, I believe, was 1 point behind.
1 point.
So basically, obviously, as Milan fans, the goal is definitely to finish top 4, probably even finish top 2. Is just to finish top 2, right?
Champions
League
League is up to 4, right?
Yeah. That's what you want to see rest of the season.
Yes. So I think I could be wrong, Adriano, but it's still an improvement from last year, right? Because last year,
of course, last year was
last year was a
terrible
tough
year. We finished 7th, 8th, 6th, 8th, something like that. So it was rough.
Top 4. I think right now it's definitely a big improvement from last year, and
that was Allegri's goal too, right? To open the season. That's what he said is the biggest target is top 4. Obviously, as fans want more, especially that we were close. With the Scudetto, and so it for me, just before you go on, Franco, it will be a check mark, I guess, in terms of Allegri's target and the club's target, but we all know down deep, it's for Milan, it's Scudetto or nothing, or bust.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. Maybe who knows? Next year we can do the opposite of Inter, right? We kind of finish in the top 4 and then win all the events like the Champions League and
we'll see.
But when is the last? It's been a while. We won a Champions League, like early 2000.
2007. Yeah.
2007. Yeah.
The last Italian team hasn't been since 2010. Obviously, Inter the treble in 2010. So
the
Italian league as a whole, we haven't seen some glory in Champions League in a long time.
No, and I think, just to sum it up, I think, we always compare to those glory days, like, between, I'd say, 2005, 2010. It'd be good. It'd be good for the country. It'd be good for everyone, I think, if we can have, if we can have one of our teams in the international stage, for sure.
I was going to ask another question, but talking about glory days, this is actually a perfect transition because I did want to talk about this with everyone, guys. 8 days.
Ooh, I knew this was coming.
Got 8 days.
Well, when this goes live and this airs, it'll be exactly a week away.
It's gonna be a week. Franco, first of all, well, not only for Franco, everyone. How nervous are you guys? Because me personally, I'm like waking up. It's like, okay, X amount of days left. Okay, when's the call up list gonna come out? There's been so many rumors.
Friday.
This player, that player. Okay, it's Friday. Good to know.
Yeah.
I'm freaking nervous, guys. I don't know how you're feeling, Franco. I don't know you, Gianni. I don't know. You seem like you keep busy, so maybe you have your mind off of it. But I'm nervous, guys.
Like not as confident as I should be. Maybe. I wish I was a lot more confident. I think defeat versus Macedonia and some of the lower tier teams, doesn't. Kind of scares me a little bit.
Still haunts you?
It haunts me, exactly. And scares me a little. I think our roster to our squad, there's no one that really kind of, I think, gives fear to the opponents. I have to say, Scamacca impressed me a little bit in Atalanta. But again, you have to put him in right spots. Like he's a glorified poacher. Like you have to really feed him the ball, but he's a pretty good finisher. So, but Milan, not Milan, Italy. Yeah, it's been tough to watch. I have to say it's been tough to watch, but honestly, I have hope. I think if we get in there, we don't know what can happen. I think we just got to get in there. I think in that group A, it's a pretty good group to be in. Because
all things considered,
Canada, all things considered, Canada, obviously living in Montreal, there's a lot of hype for Canada, but I think they don't have a lot of experience in the big stages. So that might, that's gonna hurt them a little. Morocco's a good team. So I'm a bit afraid of them. But ultimately, I think we could win. We could win the group. Like we could, if we're in, we could win it. I don't care who we have on the roster. We have so many guys that won, like Buffon and some. I think even Bonucci's in that management, and that we have guys that been there before. Yeah, Gattuso. We have guys that've been there before that should guide this team. Should provide them let's just lead the way. Because I think there's a reason those guys are on the team. Yeah, is the roster as good as it once was? No, not even close. But I think that these are all guys that are the best players on their respective teams. Like all of them, like they're all these are all like great players on their team. So we just have them to show on an international stage. I think there lacks a lot of cohesiveness in the team. I don't know if they just have to go out, get a beer together. I don't know what it is. Improve the team morale, because when you watch a game and it's like when I see them getting angry at each other, that can just be passion. Like that doesn't necessarily mean there's hatred between players. I don't want to start rumors out there, sure. But there's missing like when we talk about guys like Pirlo and like some of the players. If we look at 2006 World Cup. Like some of the players, I didn't even know who they were going into the game. Like who was Grosso going into that game? Who was, who were some of these players like Massimo Odo? I don't know who that guy was, but they made the team and they showed up when it counted, right? So it's like that's what they have to do. They have to realize that this is the biggest stage they're ever gonna play in, right? So it's like that's what I want to see. I want to see their best game because it's now or never. It's now or never. It's a beatable team. They're lucky that at this point we're playing teams that we can beat. We're not playing, France or England or any of the top European teams. So let's win these games.
Johnny, I'll let you go before I say my piece.
The sad news is that I won't be able to watch the game because I was supposed to coach a game for my Bantam girls soccer team on last Wednesday, but we had an ice storm, snow day for that.
Fake ice storm.
Cool, yeah, it's like such an ice storm that
98 all over again.
Yeah, totally, right? That it got rescheduled to this Thursday. Sorry, not this Thursday, next Thursday. So,
how's that going? How's your team doing?
We just beat Herzliya today 10-0, so that was nice.
Nice. Just putting it out there.
Shocker.
Yeah. No. My girls are good. We got a couple of AA players on the roster, which really helps a lot, especially when you play futsal. Their passes that they make is just phenomenal. We only lost. Huh?
You're taking notes.
Of course. I don't know how to play soccer, so I need to. I'm just kidding.
The natural team should take notes too. Fuck at this rate.
All I know is that one day, if I actually go for my coaching license, you'll see me yelling and screaming on the bench on the touchline for the
Johnny. As long as we meet in the final one day as coaches, and if that ever happens, we're going for a beer after. No matter who wins, no matter who loses.
Hey, if it means anything, the only games that we've lost have always been by one goal, and that one goal has always been an only goal. So an only goal. So. I'm just saying, like my team, we're doing very.
You missed that.
Hey, and last season they didn't win a game. This year we're contending for the finals. So wow. I'm just saying.
Wait, is that Gianni or is that Mourinho? I can't tell.
He's the special one.
If I speak, I would be in big trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going very well. Excited for it. Now I have to also coach the flag football team. So there's They're
putting you to work, Lauren Hill. Huh? They're putting you
of
to
course,
work.
yeah. But I love it. Like I helped out with the outdoor teams for soccer, both boys and girls. I'm coaching the girls team. I'm helping out with their hockey program. Like I'm assistant coaching. It's just
Oh,
more
they have
like
a hockey program.
it's like a hockey for youth. It's just like like a lot of the girls at the school that never had an opportunity to play hockey growing up or whatnot. They get donated secondhand equipment, blah blah blah, yada yada. And we get 1 hour free ice time at the Ray Bork Arena and
Nice.
on Fridays, and we do drills and we do scrimmages and stuff with them. And I'm kind of teaching them like, oh look, I'm in the offensive zone with the puck. Who's gonna be here with me? What do I do? Who do I pass? You know what I mean? Like just to develop them a bit of sense of how to play the sport. So I do
That's
that.
nice.
Yeah, and
You
then
guys
now
get equipment too from like Bauer and like donations.
it's all donated secondhand stuff. Sometimes they get some good stuff. Sometimes it's not the craziest thing, but it's still
That's good.
solid.
It's good.
It's still,
We had that at JFK as well when I was on stage there, and yeah, it's good. It's some of these players never saw ice before, or never been on the ice, so it's great.
Exactly. And then now there's a flag football season starting up, and they want me to be the assistant coach for the girls team. So
Johnny, you're a busy guy.
Yeah. So that's why for me, I've been so distracted that I'm all over the place. Obviously, just like compounded this with like teaching and stuff. It's just my brain is so out of it. Plus, I deleted Twitter. Like I still have an account, but like I deleted the app off my phone because I realized it was getting me too agitated too much. And I'm like, I haven't really been like in the realm that much as I used to. With all those factors included, I'm not feeling too nervous about it, but I'm also more negative thinking about it than positive thinking because of just like, the history of, when we're in this situation, things don't go well. So I don't have high hopes with the team because, I've been disappointed before, so I'm not holding my breath, but I hope they prove me wrong. I hope they prove me wrong.
Yeah,
that's what I care about.
For me, listen, we've spoken about it many times on the show. It's a must win. We have to be at the World Cup. In June. Like there's no two ways about it. I don't care how we get in. We need to get in, like Franco said, and like we all know, supporting Italy for as long as we have. Italy in the tournament is just a different animal. Like anything can happen. Nick, I know you have your finger up. What's he pointing at? He's pointing at the jersey. There it is.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're number one too. It's okay, Nick. We're number one.
Yeah. 4 fucking stars on that jersey, right? So, no, but in all seriousness, I think I said it previously, and I know we've said it just as a trio here on the show. We have to be there. We have to get in there. There's no two ways about it. Northern Ireland, and then it's Bosnia or Herzegovina and Wales. If we pass,
we have to play 1 or 2 games.
It's 2 games, right? So
we have to win 2 games.
We have to win 2 games exactly.
Okay,
so
and we're playing Ireland again, or no?
No, Northern Ireland,
1 game.
Northern Ireland, and then we play the winner. Then we'll play either
Bosnia,
the winner Bosnia or Wales. So, but yeah, again, it's going to be what it's going to be, guys. Like I'm getting I don't know if I'm more nervous. I know Nick said he's a bit nervous. I think I'm getting like anxious, like just that anxious feeling of like it's slowly approaching. Because I remember we were speaking many moons ago, and it was like, okay, it's in March. We'll see you in March, and now March is here, and we had obviously our friend Biagio last week, and now it's here. Like it's going to be a week away when this airs. So, listen, obviously the recent injury bug, it seems, with some of these Italian players is kind of a bit of the news online, right? Obviously, Tonali going down today with a bit of a knock there in the game against Barcelona. He got subbed out. Everybody's holding their breath, so that adds to the anxious feeling and just maybe the nervousness a bit, because if it's not him, he's probably one of the top players on the roster. So I think we need all hands on deck. We need everybody on board, and whoever that is, and the call up list. I've been hearing it's Gattuso's probably name it on Friday. So for us in 2 days' time, when this airs, it'll be the following day. But
Any
again,
notable injuries right now or no?
yeah, well, it's where Di Lorenzo's out, which again for some people that's probably a plus, but there's a whole list. I even forget a bit of them, but Vergara, Leone, if he would be a call up,
Is Fratesi in the starting lineup?
Fratesi is hasn't been really that big of an impact, right? So again, I don't know who's going to be called up for these players that are on the fence or injured. I know this might force maybe Gattuso to bring up and call up some of these players that we want to maybe see on the roster. Some of these younger talents
They're
that
hungrier, why not, man? If they show in practice that they because in my from my point of view, I think there's a lot of spots that are open. I think
oh,
there's a
for
lot of
sure.
spots that they're not confirmed by any means. I think
I
other
agree.
than Bastoni, Barella,
Donnarumma,
Donnarumma, obviously Donnarumma is a given, but I think those other two and the rest, just kind of see a practice, see who kind of shows shows how hungry they are, shows how mad they want it. I think
no,
that's it.
I
Which
totally
is
agree.
crazy to say that so close to the World Cup that we're having like almost a tryout.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, no, but you're right, and again, I'm curious to see who will be called up. What you said is expected to be on Friday. I'm curious to see who he ends up calling up, and because I know whoever he calls up or whoever he doesn't, there's gonna be talking points around it. Like there will be
That's
things
what
that
we're
will be
best at.
said.
We talk about it,
That's
Tom.
exactly that's what we know how to do. So, but again, whoever it is, hatred or dislike of that player aside, the job still has to be done. Like it has to be done. And I think I said it a couple weeks ago or last week or whenever it was. I don't care if they score off the head, off the shoulder, off the ass, off the back.
As they're drinking espresso, I don't care.
It doesn't matter. Maybe they need the baseball team. They need the
Yes.
espresso on
What a
the
story,
bench,
man,
right?
Get Tommy Starace to join the team. I know he retired, but
they need the espressos.
If they have to play Bocelli for the whole 90 minutes, do it.
whatever it takes. Like we need to be at the World Cup. So again,
where are they playing, by the way? Are they playing in Italy?
In Bergamo, actually.
In Bergamo, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
So,
in Bergamo. So firsthand what that will be like, Franco, for witnessing a game there. So listen, I think it's that it will be a plus. I think being in Bergamo, I think it's like still a neutral-ish ground and a place where I think can be that intimate feeling, like you were mentioning earlier, Franco, kind of uniting all Italians at the stadium and everybody who's going to be watching, across the world. So again, anxious, excited, maybe a little bit nervous, but at the end of the day, the job has to be done. So for next Thursday will be the first test, and hopefully it would be the following Tuesday on the 31st to see who we'd play after that.
It's at 3:00.
I believe so.
3:45.
Oh, 3:45, yeah, because of the time change. Yeah.
Johnny, how fast are we finishing work on that day?
Yeah.
Like I said, I got to coach a game right afterwards, so unfortunately I won't be able to watch it. And my game's at 3:30, so I'll be on the bench worrying about my girls.
Can't put a flat screen on the gym.
Man,
but yeah,
Franco, you've known us for a long time. It feels like we could talk to you for another 3 hours. We'll have to end it here. We'll definitely have to have you on another time, my guy.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming on. I know it's been a long time coming. Like I said, you've known us before we were the Calcio guys. So it took 298 episodes. Yeah. I know you're not so much on social media and all that, but I don't know if usually what we do is we ask people, okay, do you have something to plug? If you have anything that you
shout out, plug, whatever it is
that you want to do, Franco.
I want to shout out my students. Shout out, my students. I have 2 students, Vittorio and Chris. They ask me soccer questions every day, and they actually pressure me to, keep up to date with all soccer news. And so, kudos to them. Kudos to the soccer team. We have a big game coming up. I had to get rescheduled, like you, Jenny, due to the ice storm. So just Lord McDonald and you guys. Shout out to you guys for I feel like we're in Chicharos right now. Just having a coronet or something. So it was awesome. Thank you so much for having me on. And anytime, guys, anytime. I loved it. And like I said, I felt like I was in the big leagues. And it's true. It really is. You guys do a great job, and keep doing what you're doing. And that's it, guys. It was great to see you.
No, listen, Franco, that means the world, honestly. Not only because, and we're not saying that because you're a friend of ours, but it really means a lot because not that we do this for all the glory and all the accolades and all that, but just to get true heartfelt words of, if it be encouragement or if it be just being whatever it is, for us it goes a long way. So again, we appreciate your time because we know as having a fellow teacher on our crew here with Johnny always being busy, we know what it takes to kind of take some time out of your schedule to come on and just shoot the shit and talk culture like we always do. So again, bro, we appreciate your time and yeah, man, just happy to have you on, and hopefully it's not the last.
That means a lot. No, I would love that. Honestly, you could let me know anytime, and I'll try to make time for it because it was a blast. I think being on a podcast or having my own podcast, anything to do with sports. Next year, I'd like to start a sports club at the school too. So that's something that I think we're all passionate about. And thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely, man. And listen, guys, hopefully this is not the last of Franco on the Culture Guys podcast. But like we always end the show, we kind of started the show the same way. Follow us on all social media platforms at the Culture Guys. Very simple, guys. It really does. It really goes a long way. Yeah, wherever it's going to be. Yeah, exactly. Franco's pointing. He's our show person.
I'm a rookie, so I'm trying
it's
to
okay.
get my fingers
It's okay. Don't worry. You can. It doesn't matter. You can point wherever you want. It's fine. But yeah, guys, give us a follow at the Culture Guys, like we say every week. Again, the love and support really goes a long way for us, like we said. For all the audio version of the podcast on all your favorite podcasting platforms, you can find the Culture Guys. So rate with 5 stars, leave a comment there. And for all video content of the pod, subscribe on YouTube clips, anything that's video content of the pod. It's all on YouTube. So subscribe there, post notifications, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll be back next week, episode 299, man. Now I'm getting nervous with the 299, 300, Italy, World Cup. Man, now we're getting a bit anxious and nervous. That hopefully we'll see what we can do. But
let's start first. By the way, tomorrow, happy San Giuseppe to everybody.
Oh yes.
Right.
I'm happy you said that.
Tomorrow, okay.
I'm happy you said that.
For coming on. So just happy San Giuseppe to everybody, and well, shout out to my parents. They're both Peps. One's a Joe, one's a Josie. So
that's that tomorrow's really their day. Like forget it that it's only your father's day or your mother's day. It's their day tomorrow.
It's their day. So
I love it.
Thanks again for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Franco.
We'll be back next week to talk about more culture. And buon San Giuseppe.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
Bye.